How you doing, Governor Christie? Governor Christie, is Governor Newsom, is he in trouble right now? Is it? Can you handle something like this before?
You know what?
Yeah.
You gotta communicate the truth to your people and let them know how you're gonna fix the problems. If he does that,
He can overcome
he's
it.
doing his job.
Okay.
If he doesn't, he's not.
Right. Do you think the people are going to forgive him at some point after all they've gone through?
We're a very forgiving country.
Okay. Thank you so much, Governor.
Never in California questioned whether or not we as taxpayers in the largest state in the union should support the people of Louisiana at a time of emergency and need. We never conditioned it. We never talked about putting the full faith and credit of the United States of America with the debt ceiling bill so we can get tax cuts for billionaires and corporations that don't need it, and then put at risk the lives of hundreds of thousands of Americans that happen to live in California, a state with millions and millions of Trump supporters, Speaker Johnson. And Mr. President-elect, millions of your supporters are out here. They need your help, they need your empathy, they need your care, whatever compassion you can express, as opposed to condemnation and divisive language that has aided and embedded nothing except mis and disinformation that's flamed fear and flamed a lot of anxiety for folks that are simply trying to recover and at the same time our first responders trying to address the emergency at hand, which still hasn't been fully buttoned up.
Yes, this is not the first Democrat influencers have seen Gavin Newsom putting out these insane videos. I don't understand why he thinks doing this is important. Every single day, appearing in podcasts, doing segments like this, replying to tweet, Mike Johnson's fire back to this clip. Instead of making highly produced clapback videos with social media influencers, you should get to work helping Californians. You are the leader of a state in crisis, and you should finally start acting like it's it. That is the truth. Gavin Newsom is being criticized on social media for doing this. I don't understand. What is the link you have at this time with influencers? Social media platforms. He is everywhere. Oh, replying to this person. Oh, doing this. Now, a lot of people have noticed what he is doing. He is not focusing to save lives.
Speaker Mike Johnson suggested additional aid might have to come from with certain conditions. Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso said he expects funding to have strings attached. Senator Tuberville even said California doesn't deserve anything, saying, quote, unless they show us they are going to make some changes. You have been here on the ground in communities for the last week. What is your reaction to the response from leaders in Washington?
Well, if that's leadership, I have a different definition. I imagine would be universally felt here. It's I'm not meeting Democrats, I'm not meeting Republicans, I'm not meeting Californians. I'm meeting American citizens desperate in need. And what they need is empathy, care, compassion, understanding. They need support, not rhetoric, not strings attached. I mean, I met families who lost not only their home, but their business and their church, their sense of self, place, community. They had a Zoom the other night, and everyone broke down crying because all they wanted to do was see the faces of one another. Mm-hmm. And yet that's the face of leadership in the state, the United States of America, conditioning aid to the American people in need, politicizing this tragic moment. So I'll spare any more commentary on it, except to say I would encourage these people. They're human beings, they're parents. I respect that. Come out here, visit with these folks. And let's have a conversation after that.
You see what he is doing? Launching, replying to tweet. Before you even mention something on social media, particularly to Gavin Newsom, he is there to reply you. That is what I've seen with him throughout this period. I have never seen this before. When something like this is happening, you see leaders focusing. They don't even have time to retweet what you tweet or what you post. They don't have time. Mike Johnson said it based on issues of mismanagement, things like that. I did a couple of videos about that. Look at what he's saying now.
The city will only purchase from vendors. Yeah, said the firefighter. So we'll go with a vendor that we have to pay twice as much, or the shipment may take twice as long in order for it to be a DI vendor rather than the vendor who has it at half the price and get it to us tomorrow. The whistleblower said that DEI programs put firefighters and the public in danger. I personally witnessed in my own drill tower them making and passing women just to get their female quota numbers, even though they didn't have to meet all the criteria that men did. When asked what those criteria were, the person said a certain amount of push-ups, holding a certain size hose line, throwing a certain ladder. We no longer require 2 firefighters to be able to throw a 35-foot ladder because of the amount of women that were failing that. So now it's just a 3-person ladder. We no longer require that as a job requirement. In the field, that doesn't work because we don't have enough people to spare when a fire is happening to just throw 1 ladder. The DEI programs are also expensive. They distract attention away from preventing and fighting fires, and they result in the fire department hiring unqualified people, according to multiple whistleblowers. Do we really need to sink millions a year into DEI? I don't think so. Another reason is corruption, which drains money from the city's coffers, including for firefighting. The FBI frequently catches business people, including housing developers, as well as homeless service providers, who get money from the city by bribing members of the LA City Council and LA Board of Supervisors, either directly or indirectly through family members or campaign donations. Last year, a federal court sentenced a city council member to 13 years in prison for taking $1.5 million in bribes from real estate developers who sought favorable treatment. They gave him envelopes full of cash, luxury trips, and process. In exchange, he stalled homeless projects that may have helped bring people inside. There are many such cases. In 2020, an LA City Council member pled guilty to lying to investigators in a corruption case. In 2023, an LA supervisor was convicted of fraud and bribery and sentenced to 42 months in prison. Another City Council member is currently being prosecuted for theft by embezzlement, perjury, and conflict of interest. There's also a perfectly legal version of this corruption. It's pay to play, explained Soledad Ursua, a member of the Venice Neighborhood Council. The politicians award contracts to nonprofit homeless service providers, and they then make campaign donations. If you're not making a campaign contribution, you are simply not going to get those contracts. However, those nonprofits may skirt the law later by hiring the family and friends of the elected leader.
Yes, Ted Cruz replied to Gavin Newsom, misguided CA policies, limited fire investigation effort, produce water shortages under funded firefighters. Now, them politicians are making it harder for those devastated by the wildfire to sell their property. This will only hurt the victims. When you look down, Ted Cruz was replying to Gavin Newsom today. I signed an executive order prohibiting greedy land developers from ripping off LA wildfire victims with unsolicited, undevalued offers to buy their destroyed property. Gavin Newsom came back to reply him, openly shilling for scammers and bottom feeder land speculators is a wide play even for you, Ted. Our executive order doesn't prevent anyone from selling their property. It prohibits scammers from making unsolicited offers to buy property for pennies on the dollar. That is Gavin Newsom replying to this. Like I said, this is what he spent most of his time doing. Struggling to always reply tweet. But when you look down, he will twist it a little bit, not being outspoken or saying the truth on what is actually happening. When you look on this tweet, it was fact checked. What they said actually contradict what Gavin Newsom is saying on this video. Yes, this video alone actually summarized everything. Why Mike Johnson actually said that now Gavin Newsom don't want to reason this way, that there's a problem in his state. Look deep and see what they can do. Mike Johnson did not refuse that it will not be coming here. He said it will be coming with a condition. I don't know the condition. Not only him. I saw a lot of these lawmakers coming out to say the same thing.
I'm here in Altadena. I just signed an executive order with community leaders to deal with the issue that is becoming a bigger and bigger issue every day, and that's land developers that are engaging in predatory efforts to make unsolicited offers for properties at significantly below market value. This predatory behavior is disgusting in the best of times, and of course here in the midst of this tragedy at scale, it's disgraceful. So we're going to hold those folks accountable. I'm very grateful for the leadership here in the community that promoted this approach, and this executive order is a reflection of their direction and their commitment to preserving the unique character of this community for generations to come.
These people don't actually care. They're not actually trying to find a solution. They're just trying to work their pet issues into this tragic situation. It's confusing, but thankfully some people are being more explicit in their conspiracy theories.
On X, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene asked, why don't they use geoengineering, like cloud seeding, to bring rain down on the wildfires in California? They know how to do it.
Gavin, you have failed the people of California. You are a poor leader. You take no accountability, and you're focused on promoting your own image.
Focus to help people, not struggling to save your image because you want to run for president.
It's very good to see you. I heard you had to evacuate your home.
Yes. Like most people, I had to. I got lucky, the winds moved, but, the fire was coming and all that stuff. So you just fly.
Because all it would have taken is $5 billion. And they accidentally paid an extra $6 billion to Ukraine. They're like, don't worry, just a mistake. There's an accidental $6 billion.
What, to help Maui?
Yeah, rebuild entirely.
Pacific Palisades looks like, unfortunately Gaza or one of these war-torn countries where awful things have happened. So, and there are fires now breaking out everywhere. So it feels totally bizarre to be talking about a movie.
I'll be laying out a plan for how we recover.
And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Thank you guys who always been there sharing on my videos. I don't like to make the videos long. Reason I always cut it at this point for
future president and his
policy. The problem with California is forestry management.
We're triggering total collapse.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning, and I flew here last night. I was on.
This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires in 100-mile-an-hour.
I'll be updating you, giving you more information to what I'm observing on social media.
Companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking straight. Remember it.
As a country about January.
Yeah, we were just talking about the wildfire situation and how crazy it is that they
still funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad.
I want to be,
Jim Jordan.
5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.